afternoon, Planet Earthgate TV. And now for the show.
Afternoon.
Planet Earth. Woo. My amazing co-host Dominic. Every time it's like mirrored. My amazing co-host Dominic Leonelli right there. Add Dominic right now on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of this stuff.
Rizzle.
Yes, Rizzle. Shout out to Rizzle.
All right. I just kicked my tripod. Here we go. This is Dominic in July tan weather.
Oh yes! And add me on Instagram, TikTok, Rizzle, YouTube, Twitter, everything, please.
Yeah. But I like yours now. I don't have a niche.
Thank you. Yeah. So I don't have a niche because my TikTok at Amy J. Jans didn't have access to Reels. And a huge part of the Instagram algorithm right now is Reels. Reels is where it's at. So they say you should post your stories 10 times a day. That's freaking absurd. I'm sorry. We don't have, unless if we're being paid, our job should not be glued. Like, they're going to throw us a bone of a couple likes if we post our stories 10 times. That's sick. Sorry. Anyway, 10 times a day to stories, 3 times a week to your grid, your Instagram grid, and something with your reels. I think 3 times to your reels or something. But long story short, they wouldn't give me access. I reached out to Instagram and I was like, hey, I'm an artist in this pandemic. Can you, I said it would mean a lot if you could give me access to reels, because this is how I'm managing to put my art out there. I've messaged them, no lie, about 8 times, nothing. So I said, you know what? I'm starting fresh, baby. I'm a blank space.
Wow, that's great. And then you got the reels now.
Yeah, and you know what?
Crazy.
It solved my anxieties. Right. Like, why are they giving new people reels, but not, I've been on Instagram since I think 2014. Something's a little crooked.
What's this, a first time buyer deal now? It's like getting a house.
Yeah, they're rewarding newbies. I think that's a little shady, IG. You know, you gotta give artists the same privilege as everybody. We're in a pandemic, dude. Like, that's why people are switching to TikTok, because it's more genuine and it's less fake.
Yeah,
so
I like TikTok more personally.
I do. Yeah, because it's like, I'm so sick of just curation. I'm like, come on, everything is curated. I like aesthetic. I think it's an art, but you know, I think if we're getting paid off of Instagram, it'd be one thing. But to do all of this work of like aesthetics, colors, and it for while you have a full-time job, while you're trying to write, I'm telling you, the more I post, the less time I have to write. It's like something's got to go. Something's in terms of time, your opportunity cost in terms of economics is you gain posting, but you lose time writing, which as an artist, that's sad. That sucks for me, but I'll figure it out. Everything is a balance.
Yeah. Now, what do you think's going to happen? Like, I don't know if you heard, but all the clubs are opening up April 2nd in New York.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Now, is it going to be 100% capacity or like a 30% capacity thing?
I think 30%, which if you think about it, a lot of clubs, that's all they roughly got most of the time, like except for on the weekends.
No, that's true. That is true.
Now, I know me personally, I haven't been posting much anyway, but I know I'm going to be a lot more at the clubs, like probably just working on that. And honestly, that spare time really, when you really, really like those hours go by when you're like trying to put some time in writing. There's not enough hours in the day sometimes.
I know. I think it would be so cool to be able to write and then have a social media manager to where we can Oh my God. Here's my dream. Can I tell you my dream if I won the lottery?
Yeah.
Okay. So I bought myself my Powerball tickets and I was like, this is it, man. This would change my life. So I already know what I would have done. But fuck, we're gonna win the Powerball. Sorry, it's so fun to think about. I like being a little delusional on purpose. It's fun. So here's what I would do. I'd buy my dream apartment, 3 bedrooms, okay, Lower East Side. I'd keep 1 bedroom as a studio. It'd have high ceilings for filming, windows, natural light, and I would have, my you see this, right? Hold on. You see this? Oh,
Yeah.
this is what I put green screen and backdrop. So I would have the 1 room with that where I could have my backgrounds. I'd have huge 3-point lighting, sound, huge iMac, not a laptop. I'd have a freaking iMac so I could edit properly. And then I would hire someone to film and to direct my social media content and edit it. So they know exactly where to pick off. Because if I just edited my stuff, or if I filmed and then I gave it to an editor, I wouldn't know how to explain to them. Because I don't film like totally organized sometimes. I film out of order sometimes. So if the person directing edited, they would know exactly where to pick up.
Yeah, when you could have a system in play.
Exactly.
Like what's that? The assembly line. You can almost be like, hey, look, I'm doing this part. I seen a thing Tupac said when he was in the studio, he was with people and they was like, we don't got time to mix all this. Let's just lay down the track and we'll let the editor do their part. I'm just gonna lay down, this will be the hook, and let's just do it when the creativity's flowing, and we'll mix it later, because you get that creativity spurt and you gotta run with it.
So true. Yeah, I know. And, I realize sometimes if I over plan my content, it loses the creativity. For example, so I did this web series with my BFF from first grade, Francis, called Refurbished Dreams. So then I sent it to Rizzle, because they were looking for series, so they said, yeah, sure. So I turned Refurbished Dreams into Getting Rich Quick, and I was showing my sister yesterday, and she was like, I like the other one you made. She was like, I like the Refurbished Dream one you made. And I was like, you know what's different? Refurbished Dreams, we winged it. We improvised it, and then I edited it together.
Yeah.
Like flew what worked. And then Getting Rich Quick, I literally had 10 scripts that I wrote it out. And I gave it to my friend Francis, and we did it like that. So I overthought Getting Rich Quick, and I was like, shit, the magic was lost a little bit. So there's something about overthinking. Now, when you just post, what does better in terms of your content? When you plan it out, or when you just don't think and you just post it?
I'd have to say, honestly, when I'm a little bit more natural, it depends, I guess, really. On some sketches, I like to be able to be free and loose and let out some improv. But as far as stand-up, when I overthink stand-up, I kill it. Like, just one word from me making it make sense. Like, I may, in the joke, I may say something like, and they'll do anything. But then when I try to write it, I'll actually say what they do, and I'll say something like, and then they'll change lanes. And it's like, even though that's not how I would say it, then all of a sudden it's not as funny.
Wow. Yes. Why is that? I think because when you say it how you just talk, it's funnier. You know what I mean? I'm the same way. Like when I go off the rails in a way that the audience is liking, it's when I'm just like fucking speaking my mind, but then the stuff that I overwrote It's weird. It's weird. Sometimes it absolutely helps me to write word by word and do it. Oh, it goes both ways. It absolutely is good. Write it word by word, cut the fat, and stick by that. But
Yeah,
also just throwing away the set list and going off the rails. But it
yeah,
depends what crowd. It really does depend what crowd. If it's an alt crowd, that is
gotta love Harlem.
Harlem. Yeah, if the crowd is really like well put together, and if
Sorry.
it's like a show at Gotham, if it's a fancy show, I like to stick by the book. If it's an alt bar show, I like to go off the rails. Do you find that?
Yeah, I actually just had an experience with this. Right before the COVID, there was this bar like on Second Avenue and maybe like 13th Street, and it was this wild bar show late at night that would go forever. And I was on stage, and I had a joke where the punchline worked, but I just replaced it at the bar show because it was so wild and in the moment. And I came up with a way better punchline for a certain joke.
That's so cool.
I
It
think
is.
those. Oh no, I was just gonna say I think those rough shows could make you do that. Like in the situation of doing something different, you could get something from it.
Right. You know what I like to do, and I don't know, it's a little weird, but I like to, when I meditate, I let go and I surrender, and the solutions, I'll think a problem and a solution will come to me. And I apply that to stand up sometimes. When I let go, before I go on stage, I say, like, God, be with me or something, and let the words come to me, and I trust, and the words come. Or is that lazy writing?
Now
Yo,
I
maybe
don't
this is
know.
lazy writing.
Let me ask you: when you do that, is it quiet in the room? Do you do it in silence?
Oh my God. So ideally, yes, I can go to a deeper state of meditation if it's quiet, but my living situation, I don't live alone. So it's like people are always singing shit like, oh, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm there meditating, shut up, shut up. No. And no, ideally, yeah. Yeah, to go in the deep state. But really, when I trained for meditation, my meditation teacher at the TM place in Beverly Hills, she said, look, I meditate in the airport. If you could get yourself to a trained, you got to be disciplined enough. But yeah, you could do it on the airport. And I look back thinking how a little naive this was. I used to meditate on the subway.
Wow. Do you think I can meditate with these sirens every 2 seconds? Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. When I lived right in the city and all that, those, you know what you do? You focus on the sound. You could get a white noise. Get a white noise maker, go on YouTube and type in white noise, and put that to kind of blast that over, put in headphones, white noise, and you focus on your mantra. And you go into it. Or you could do guided meditation.
The air conditioner helps in the summer. It's like white noise.
Yes, absolutely. Well, hey, put on your AC. I don't know if you have it in your window still, but put that on just for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the way to go sometimes. I don't know. I'm excited to hopefully move to a little bit quieter. I'd rather hear music than sirens every 2 seconds. I wonder why there's just so many right here. Everywhere I lived, there was never sirens like this.
Oh my God. There weren't sirens like that when I lived, in Queens and all that. Yeah, it might be, you're probably off of are you off of Broadway or 7th Ave?
Yeah, near at 8th Ave.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. It
That'll
is
do it.
wild. But yeah, I definitely, when I start changing it too much and getting in the book, it isn't funny no more. With a lot of my jokes, I kill them that way, and then a year later, I'll listen to it the right way and be like, oh, that's why it was funny. It was totally different.
Right. You know what I'm going to focus on when I start performing live again is my voice. Because for me, projecting, I go in a shrill. I go, ah, and I listen to it. I'm like, wow, this is really irritating. God bless everybody listening. So, yeah. And then I listened to this master class with this guy. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator. Okay. Wow. This guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And guys, I highly recommend watching this masterclass, FBI negotiator. And he said the key to anything in terms of communicating is to have a late night voice. He said, you want to be very mellow. Yeah. Right.
Huh.
Okay. All right. So when I do stand up, I'm going to try it like absolutely doing my jokes very nonchalant, and I honestly feel more relaxed when I'm talking like this. I feel more chill.
Yeah.
I think in terms of stand up, because I've been doing it since I was 19 and I was at a panicked place. I was literally at the most fucking frazzled, panicked place, being 19, poor, in New York City, sharing a bedroom with someone I don't know. It's terrifying in terms of security. Like, I'm a person, I need assurance that I will be safe for the future. And so I was just in this frazzled, I started with a bad habit of being panicked. And then it has been in my comedy since. And I think I'm going to be focused. It needs to be genuine too. It's not genuine. It's almost a lie of the old me. Being, like it's a total lie. Like every human was put on this earth to have fun and enjoy life. So I don't want to communicate a state of panic to people for entertainment anymore. I'm done. Fucking hanging up the rope for that.
Yeah. I wonder what it's going to be like when you do go back. You'll probably be different because it's been a little bit.
Yeah. I think so. I think this whole pandemic, I've actually have learned to like myself. And, I had a very difficult breakup, and I think I've grown a lot with that. And I've just been happy to trust myself. Like, yes. You know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to validate myself. And because I'm no longer surrounded by naysayers of what I can't do. Tell me what I can do. Be on board with what I am down to do instead of what's wrong with,
Yeah.
Oh my God. So can you please tell us about your vacation? So everybody, Dominic just got back from Tampa, Florida. Please, I'm dying to hear about this. You came back with a tan, glow, a sun-kissed look.
Yeah, a sunburn. I got this thing crooked somehow. I had to plug in my phone. All right, hopefully that's cool. I say phone very much like I'm from Ohio, I think.
Phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some sunburn. I'm feeling better now. It's peeling. I don't know if you could see it. I'm trying to stay the right distance. And I all around got sunburn pretty good. That was a week ago. I've been back a week. They said most sunburns last 5 to 7 days, and it's day 7, and it's like I'm still pretty prime sunburn.
Yeah, you're pretty. No, it looks good though. It looks more of a glow.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, the lighting's right. And now I'm underneath the. What were you gonna say?
You're wearing a mask because you're quarantining, right?
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, basically. So yeah, we gotta do our part in quarantining, and that's what you know. Before COVID, going bowling, sticking your fingers in them balls, sucking your fingers from the fries.
So true.
That's
Ugh.
so crazy how we lived, or even the club being this close, coughing on somebody.
Oh, I remember when I was 19 going to Webster Hall, man. That was just unbelievable. Like, people just all on you. Like, even concerts. I remember going to, like, back in my emo days, going to concerts, and you would just kind of surf together. Like, we would all cram up to the front of the stage in the general admission area, and I remember just being off my feet. Everybody would be I would be so cramped that my feet wouldn't touch the floor, and I would be lifted.
Oh, wow.
Just by being this smushed.
Yeah, I've been to a couple concerts.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, you're getting pushed against the damn gate.
So fun.
Yeah. They get packed. Have you ever been to a country concert like outside? Some of those get slam packed.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never been to country concerts.
I'll tell you what, I thought some people like Ludacris and these people drew, but these country concerts near Ohio, it's like you don't stop seeing people. It feels like Woodstock. It's outside, like in a pavilion, and there's just people for days. Like they just look so far, like huge.
Yes. You know what's fun? Have you ever been to a music festival?
No. Well, in Ohio, little ones like Youngstown had like a heavy metal one, but it wasn't nothing big though, like a big one.
Right. Yo, we should go to Coachella. Good Afternoon Planet Earth goes to Coachella.
When is that? I heard that's sick too.
Yeah, it's this huge concert. I've been wanting to go since I was like 16 and never got to go. It's expensive. These concerts are very expensive, like festivals. You got to find lodging and but yeah, it's huge. It's a 3-night event, I believe, or maybe they expanded it. Yo, Governor's Island. That's where we'll go. New York City, they got the Governor's Island thing. I went one year and oh my God, it was so fun. But my boyfriend and I at the time, we got in this huge fight because my two friends, Aaron and Christina, we had tickets and I was the holder of the tickets. And I was like, and he was going with his friend, and me, boyfriend, and his friend were going to meet my friends at the show, and he's there drunk, and I'm like, put on your shoes, I'm there, put on your shoes, let's go. And he was about to make me late for my friends. I will not let my friends be there late. I have the tickets. It's my responsibility. I will be there early so my friends aren't waiting. And finally, I was like, I'm going without you. I said, look, I said it wasn't even a fight for me. I was like, look, no problem. You want to go drink, go whenever. Meet me whenever. Text me when you get there. No problem. I said, I'll meet you there. He got mad because I went without him.
Huh. You can't please him.
You can't please him. And I was just like, look, I wasn't starting a fight by leaving. I was like, yo, no problem. I have a responsibility of being there early. So whenever you get there, let me know and we'll link up. And he made it a huge fight the whole time. Oh my God. And I was just in my mid-20s. I didn't know how to handle that kind of. I was really upset. Like, oh, I'm so upset. And the whole time I was really upset. I ended up walking the bridge home. I walked the bridge alone. I fucking loved it. I'm such a loner though. I'm like, yo, I put in my headphones. I'm looking at the scenery. It was cool. I'm such a loner. That's it. Do your own thing. I don't care. But then when people are upset because you do your own thing, when they're holding you back, no, you can't. You can't be mad.
Yeah. There's some people that you just can't please. Some people just love to fight. I don't know what it is.
they're addicted to fighting. I think some people.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I've been in those shoes with people that you just can't please, and it's like, if I would have said, if I would have waited for you, somehow you would have twisted it on me still and made it
Yeah. And
made it a fight.
that's such a huge red flag that I wasn't aware of. In your early mid 20s, you don't know about stuff like that. Like I think a big thing with relationships is we're not trying to find a winner. Like fights. No. That's not
That's
the objective of the fight is I win, you win. No. We're working to meet of the minds. That is what we're working on. Because if one person wins, the other person loses. There's no loser. Work together, find a solution that we're both content with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like who has the upper hand. I know I run into that a lot.
A
I didn't want
lot.
to call you because I didn't want you thinking you had the upper hand. And it's like, what?
Wait, follow like on Instagram or whatever?
Call. No, I didn't
Oh,
want to call you. Yeah, like, when it's
yeah.
like you hold out to call somebody over the
Right.
fight.
Oh,
I don't
man.
do that no more. Like, I
No
don't
more.
fight really.
I have to say, that's the best thing about getting older. I love it. It's like, oh, you see the truth more.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be like, oh, I really like this guy, but I'm afraid to text him because I texted him the other day and I don't want to be eager. And it's like, now, if I want to text, I'll text. And if that's too much, then suck my dick, bitch. Please, fucker.
Right.
It's like, let me see your true colors ASAP. Bye, fucker. No.
True. No, you're right. If somebody's playing games like that,
Yes.
it's better to just know. It's like, I don't want to dance around it.
Yeah, no more dancing. And these people that play the games, here's the thing. If you're playing a game, they're probably playing a game too. Because
Right.
it's a mirror. It's fucking weird. Like our human interactions are pretty much a mirror of what something that's in us is out in the other person.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I was watching this TikTok video, and this girl said, this will blow your mind. She said, what is your biggest self-sabotaging pattern? And this girl said procrastination.
Right. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. And she said, well, and now what is your love language? Quality time. So the opposite of the procrastination was her love language.
That's interesting.
So like it was a shadow. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know do you know what your love language is?
No, the yin and yang.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just be nice. Give me presents. I like presents. Some people, I don't like it's material. Give me a fucking present.
What type of presents?
Anything. Like it could be a fucking stick of gum. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be millionaire. It could be a stick of gum. It says, I thought of you. I saw you and I thought of you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like, but I don't know. It's just like, I like thoughtful stuff. Oh my God. One time, right? I was 22. This guy was dating. He was a talent manager. Okay. Oh, did I tell you this story?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe. Right. I don't know. Let's hear it for the viewers, though.
All right. This is going to be interesting. All right. So here I am. I'm 20. No, I was 21. I sent in my headshots and resumes, okay, to all these talent agents. I even went big. I was like CAA and, all the big dogs. And I sent it to this one manager. I won't say their name because they're pretty big, like huge. I'll tell you after the podcast. They manage A-listers. They also produce huge movies. This guy calls me. I end up talking to him for an hour. I'm like, oh, cool. And anyway, I go, I got to go to work. He goes, where you work? I go, oh, Mel's, blah, blah, blah. He goes, He goes, I live right there. I'm gonna come meet you. I go, awesome. And I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get represented by this
Yeah.
huge manager. And we talked for an hour. Very easy. I'm a very my vibe wise, I either like talking to people for a long time or my ADHD kicks in. If my ADHD doesn't kick in like full throttle to where I get fidgety, it's a good thing. It's my own barometer of people I'd like to be around. And so this guy, I love talk, very easy. So anyway, we start hanging out and going out to lunch and stuff. And 6 months later, it's to the point of like, oh shoot, am I in a relationship with this guy? I think I was in I don't know what it was. I really don't. And I started, the moment I started to ask him, like, yo, like, what's the deal? He flaked. He ghosted me after half of a year of consistent hanging out.
Did he ever send you on an interview or anything?
Never. And you know what? Like, even as a friend, like, we became very tight. Like, I considered him a really good friend. And it was to the point I was like, is he my boyfriend? And I'm only 21. I was 21. And this guy was like a little older.
Wow.
And so anyway, no, like, even as a friend, he could have guided me, gave me advice, mentored a little bit. And I was like, I was naive and like, oh, I don't want to bother him. Oh God, here's something I laugh about all the time is wanted to prove that I was independent. Okay. Cause I was younger. I was like insecure about being younger. So I was like, I need to prove I was independent. So I wouldn't let him pay. I paid. I was like, I got this. And I paid and he let me pay. That is feminism gone wrong.
Yeah, he probably loved you. Take me out to dinner every night.
21-year-old working the graveyard shift. This guy manages A-listers, big TV shows, Comedy Central, on Comedy, not lying, on Comedy Central. And I'm trying to prove I'm independent and I'm paying for his stuff. And I look back and I was like, that was grooming. He tried to groom me, taking me out to premieres and movie. And I'm like, I'm 21. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen this before. Whoa, cool. Whoa.
Yeah.
And once I started being like, dude, like asking questions, ghost.
It's crazy.
That was inappropriate.
It's crazy. Like, a lot of people say like, I don't know, like it's crazy the things that get thrown at like a young, attractive woman at one time. Like, that's just a lot. Like to just like be like, oh, here's everything all at one time, and that's what happens a lot. Like that's a lot to just take in. And you don't know, like me at 19, thank God none of my friends were rich or anything. The most we'd be around is a bottle of alcohol,
right?
Or something. But when you hear about some of these parties people go to at 18 and 19 or even 17, it's like, wow.
Well, and I don't think my brain like was actually formed until I was like 27. Like I'm not even kidding. Prior to 27, I was just very like excited. I was just so and trusting. I was just like, wow. Oh, I like, I was just so enthusiastic that I trusted people too much. And I thought he had my best interest because he was treating me like an equal. Yeah. And I look back, I was like, that was not, he could have mentored me, gave me advice. And not let a poor 21-year-old girl work in the graveyard shift to midnight to 8 a.m. Not by choice, but out of not being homeless. Why would he accept me paying for him?
Right.
Dirtbag. Sorry, what's up?
Yeah, I don't care what's going on. Even now, when I take somebody out, or like like somebody's like, "Hey, I'll pay." It's like, no, no. Or if they're like insisting on paying, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get them back twice as good now." Like,
No, but here's the thing. That's different. When you're like good friends and it's like let's say if you're dating, it doesn't have to be like that. Like like yeah, they could pay. They should absolutely treat you sometimes. It's not like a gender situation. I think, it for me it was like a power dynamic that was the issue. Like I was just a baby, 21, but now you're an equal to your you know what I mean?
yeah, right.
So yeah, they should treat you and guilt free. You don't have to be like, dude, out of guilt, let me pay triple.
Yeah, I'm always like that though. I'm like, nah, I just want to
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what it is. Like you just feel like you want. It just makes you feel so good. Somebody does something for you, maybe.
Right.
What about Yeah. So what ended up happening? You just stopped hearing from them, or
Yep.
completely,
Completely.
and you still haven't never heard from them yet?
No. What's weird is so one time I looked at his license and he was using kind of a different name, like a stage name.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any online presence. I wonder if he's listening. Yo, I honestly don't know. Give me a call,
That's
dude.
interesting.
Give me a
Yeah, give
call.
us a thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a give me a call. Give me a call.
I still laugh about that joke that you had. You
Which
had a
one?
similar joke about it, and he
Oh,
got the part.
yes, yes, yes. And that was one of my favorite jokes because it was like part truth. And I
Yeah.
love jokes. Sometimes I like jokes that are just so silly that it's like, I gotta say this. I gotta freaking say this. But
Yeah.
it had an element of real truth.
Yeah, that's interesting. That makes it even better yet. I love the ones that have real truth in them as well.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
oh no, go ahead.
oh, just since I went to Hollywood on vacation and now I'm like extra interested in it, I was Googling like how it was back in the day, and even like that thing on Netflix about the Comedy Store. It had to be insane before social media when it wasn't up to you what you do and what you put out. Like, and
Yeah.
when there was just one club accepted like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you were in Hollywood probably right before, like, I don't know, were you there? Was social media huge at
Oh,
that point?
man, so yeah, so Instagram was around. I left 2013, but here's the thing, I was too poor for an iPhone. So I didn't have Instagram until I got an iPhone, an iPhone in I want to say 2014. So I'm so sad. Like the content, I live by myself. I could have had fucking sick content. Like being 22, having my own apartment, like damn,
Yeah.
I'm so sad. These people, Gen Z, like guys, embrace. I think they're really embracing social media. But yeah, it wasn't entirely up to me or anybody. It wasn't up to anybody really as to who was the gatekeeper. And now we can be our own gatekeeper, really. We can make content that's great, be undeniably funny. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, this is undeniable. Like, I put the work in, the followers show. The
Right.
analytics do not, actually, yeah, the analytics do lie. Because you can just lie. I don't know. We live in a plastic world, everybody.
We do. I'm still like, I just love the realness of stand up. I like sketches. I may never be one of these people that post all the time, but I
Right.
think my fans will still like what I do.
Oh, well, you know what, though? That means you're actually working on your talent, which is how it should be. It really is. I actually used to have management and they made me sign a this thing. It's attorney. Hold on, what the hell is it called? Power of attorney. They
Yeah.
had me sign a power of attorney, which means they could pull the plug on me if I was on my deathbed. I had no
What?
clue. Yeah, I had no clue. I mean, they were a reputable place, kind of. They had a Disney star on the roster. And oh my God. So I asked the manager, I go, because it was in my head. Like, I thought it was weird. And I actually did ask the manager guy I was like hanging out with. I was like, dude, is this normal? Do you do that? He was like, I've never heard of that. I don't do that. And
Wow.
supposedly it was so they could get your check. They can cash your check. I think they cash your check and then took the cut and then gave it to you. I don't know, but there's a way to do that other than. So I asked the manager, he goes, no, that's very weird. So I go, I set up a meeting and I talk to them. I talk to the owner. I go, look, I would just like to know, what is the deal with this power of attorney? And he goes, you know what that means? We're done. We're done. He ripped up my contract right in front of me. And I
Wow.
was only 22. I was just a freaking baby. I didn't have lawyers. I didn't have anybody on my side. I didn't have my mom advocating for me. Like, my mom's in Jersey and she has no clue about, paperwork, like legal stuff. Coming from a working class family, it is hard because you don't have anybody advocating for you because nobody knows what the deal is. Like, my mom still thinks that, I can just get on a soap opera. Like,
Right.
and so, yeah, that guy just ripped it right up. And I was like, looking back, I'm like, dude, that was totally why do people think they could treat people less than? I'm sorry, that's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah,
The fact he couldn't give me a valid explanation and calmly, it was so unprofessional. Like, I'm sorry, you need to answer these questions professionally and without emotion. If someone has a concern, you as the owner of the company need to have answers and without emotion. Like, you can't put hate on this 22-year-old who just wants to know, why did I sign a power of attorney?
Yeah. Most people that I see, that when they get that little bit of power and they take it to their head like that, it's like those are the people that they never got nowhere in life. They were never able to tell anybody anything, it seems like. And then they get this little bit of power and they unleash it on you. I get that at the grocery store from a cashier. One cashier, I avoid her. I don't know what her problem is. I'll be like, no, it's okay. I'll act like I'm shopping. I'll get back in a long ass line. Spent 2 hours at the store during the pandemic because she gets me so mad.
Why? What does she do? What does she say?
I'm trying to think of what originally set it off. Something in particular. She always has an attitude with me, and I don't know what it is. Like, she's such a stink, just looking at me. And
Okay.
she'll be like, you don't have your card. I want to have my
Well, she'll be judging you for not having your card right in your hand.
Yeah. And
Okay.
having to look up the vegetables.
Now, maybe, remember we were talking about the shadow effect. What if she sees a quality in you that she wishes she had? Like, you're a charmer.
That's interesting.
Like, what if she is a cashier. She probably is yelled at. She can't look like cute because she's, I mean, no matter what job I had as a, I've worked as a cashier, and it's like, you're getting treated like you're an object the whole day. You're getting treated like a robot the whole freaking day. So she probably sees, I'm projecting maybe, or well, if my feet are in her shoes right now. So I'm projecting what I think she's thinking. I'm thinking she sees you with charm and freedom, and she wishes she could live your life.
That's a good point, possibly. If anything, that makes me feel better about the situation.
Yeah. And also, she doesn't know you, so don't take it personally.
Yeah, do you ever notice, like, I swear I swear, like the cuter cashiers always have the longest lines. Do you ever notice that? I swear, like the older guys go to the cashiers.
Really? I
In
mean,
my mind.
for me, when I'm in the freaking grocery store, I want to go in and out. I don't care who it is. I'm just like, get
Right.
in and out.
Yeah, I would never look for it, like wait for it, but I could totally see that with these older guys sometimes.
You know what's weird? I remember at Whole Foods, very handsome men at the Union Square Whole Foods. Woo!
Yeah,
Woo! I
you can
remember.
bring me up anytime.
Yes. And Trader Joe, some of those Trader Joe cashiers. Woo! I'm like, hello. And I almost would get mad when I got the attractive ones. I'd be like, because I'm like all of a sudden self-conscious. Because I go to the grocery store not to look cute. I go for essential stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so like I'm a very on and off person. When I go out, I like to prep myself to be on. But when
Yeah.
I'm out, I like to be off. I don't really want to have a conversation, meaningful conversation when I'm running errands. Sometimes I do. Anyway, so for me, I'd be like, damn, I don't feel like being self-conscious while being
Yeah. I'd be like, can I put this cold sore medicine back? I don't want to know why I grabbed that.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
What do you go? What about what's up with the cashiers whenever there's a code? Like, why don't they just give that code to everybody? That bothers me the most.
Or
I
like
need
promo code?
or whatever. Like, no, like when they mess up and they need somebody to clear something out, they'll be like, I need a clear register or something. They gotta wait for the manager to come over with the little card.
It comes down to, I guess, authority. They want it like a chain of command. That way there's no stealing, because it's better to control who is stealing. It comes down to control with the owner of the grocery store and management.
Wow.
It's
That's a
messed
good
up.
point. No, I
But
didn't
yeah,
know that's
it's not
why.
efficient. You're right. It's freaking not efficient. Give the code to everybody so they can properly do their job instead of waiting. You know?
Right. I know this grocery store by my house, they got these guards that'll tackle people. They ain't letting you steal a lemon out this thing. I've seen them. They just tackle them, hold them down to the ground, and wait for the cops.
Whew, man.
I mean, people are paying for everything in that grocery store in a way. Somebody's paying for it.
That
it's
is
a tough
true.
society. I know when I bartended at a place, they had cameras right above the register, and the guy that was training me was telling me how he steals. And he's like, it's my last day. He's like, you should steal too. The owner's a jerk.
Oh, no.
I didn't do it, though.
No,
you have
no,
to be
not
real
worth
good at math and have morals, I guess.
Yeah. I used to work in a froyo shop when I was like 18.
Oh.
And if you were a couple of cents off, they would treat you like you stole money. They'd be like, what happened? What did you, they would sit you in a room, one person, no windows. Like if there's a room with no windows, I get panicky. I don't know what it is. And they start judging you. It's like, it's fucking 2 cents. It's 2 cents.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Some of the things in society, I know exactly what you mean.
And it couldn't be too much over, too. They would treat you like you're stealing if it was over. Like, some people said keep the change. So it's like, fine. Like I would take it and put it in the tip jar, but then it looked, they get you in the head. Because it was like, all right, I'd be paranoid. They said keep the change. So I had a break change. I put it in the cash register, in the tip jar. And it got me all fucking in my head. Like, okay, they're watching me. It looks like I'm taking money for us from the cash. Yeah, they got to stop treating hourly employees like they're criminals and they're always up to no good, because it just gets us in our head and freaks us out, makes us nervous, and we make mistakes.
These jobs are so bad. They have if it was set up differently to where people didn't need them, they wouldn't take them. If there was other jobs, you'd have to pay me more to be a cashier at like a place where I'm dealing with some people like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's funny? The jobs that get paid less, they should get paid more. Because, a lot of these executives, they're always on vacation, working from home. They come in late. but these poor cashiers, they don't deal with people like these cashiers got to deal with. Dealing with
Yeah.
people like cashiers, oh my God, they should be compensated so well. It's so difficult.
Even like bus boys at restaurants, they really bust their butt.
They really do. They put the bust ass in busboy.
Yeah, some of the bus boys even brought me the food and water. I never even seen the waiter, but the waiter took the order. Makes you want to go tip the bus boy.
Yeah, we live in a toxic, it's pretty toxic how America does it. I think restaurants, I don't know how it'd be possible, but I kind of wish that they did just forget tipping and just pay a high hourly rate.
Yeah.
But I don't know the logistics. I'm sure it's stressful, but why can't other countries figure it out and compensate well?
Yeah, I
Wait,
mean,
why if they can figure it out, we can figure it out.
I don't think so much should be left to the tip. There's places where I work that I've only worked off of tips, or that I've got like $5 an hour, but that was even to do other things that weren't related to the restaurant.
So stressful. Yeah.
But then, these places also stack up the price so much. Some of these places in New York are just downright crazy. When I went to Florida, it really made me see it. Florida, you can eat like a king for peanuts. Like,
Wow.
none of our bills were over $30. I don't think $45. We ate like crazy.
Oh
You
my
come to New York, and that's like
like
that's
$80
one meal. If
$80.
if I went out to eat in New York and ate like I eat in Florida, like an appetizer, a dinner, a drink, it's gonna be like $65 just for me, probably $50.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
A side of fruit. It was crazy. Like a side of fruit's $2 in Florida. Can you imagine?
Right.
Like $8.50 here.
Oh, I mean, I guess inflation affects everything, because it's like the cost of food is expensive. I don't know. It's so stressful. We
I
just got to
love
get rich so we stop caring.
Right. I love New York for the sole reason of the beauty, number one, but in the energy, but the fact that I can grind it like a gym with what I'm doing.
Right.
All the opportunities are within hands reach. But as far as permanently being here, I think it's just, for me, it might just be worth it for the workout session.
What do you mean? Like running around from the east side to the west and all that?
Yeah, like just to keep the stand-up sharp. Like if I want to start building a new hour, I feel like I'd have to go to New York for like a year and hit the nitty-gritty real hard to have that solid hour before it's like ready to tour or show with.
Right.
That's the only thing that I think is worth it here. Like after being in Florida and these places, you could live so cheap and it's so beautiful.
Oh my God, so beautiful. I love Miami. Like my whole mood changes in Florida. Like on the beach, I'm just so happy. And for me, I think my essence, I was reading this, I don't know, horoscope thing, but they're like, I'm a water witch or something. It was a quiz. What witch are you? They said I'm a sea witch. So, but honestly, when I'm by the water, I feel so enlightened when I'm by the water. I don't care about stuff. I'm me. Like my soul fucking is clicked. My soul is locked and loaded when I'm by the water.
I'm very happy when I'm by a beach in the sun. I'm jumping up. Like that's what makes me say, New York's so gloomy and dark. I'm not like putting down New York. I'm not dissing it. It is great. But man, something about that life quality of just being vitamin D in the sun, and you're just getting your workout in at 8 a.m. You're pouring sweat. You ate healthy. Everybody's smiling. You're looking at the ocean.
I think down there, I remember what the meaning of life is.
Right.
Because it's like, just have fun and find the beauty in the day. It's instinctual. But in New York, sometimes I got to remind myself to find the beauty in life. I think when you're working a day job, that's not related to your art, I think that's a thing too. On days off when you could just do your art 120%, it's a different energy. you
Yeah.
know, as when you're working. Oh man, I remember working in a freaking burrito restaurant. I was so depressed. I was legit depressed. Like I just couldn't find. I felt hopeless. Um,
Yeah.
it was like, was I born? You know, you start getting these dark thoughts. Like, was I born just to serve others? And you know, like you start getting all deep and shit, and it's like, no, no, stop.
I
So,
remember, yeah, doing construction, leaving at 5 in the morning, and then trying to be doing stand up at night with this book bag full of tools all day. And it's
uh,
like, yeah, it's just too hard for me to have even have been funny. Had to get drunk to let the pain go away. It felt like
yeah,
from the
no,
day, 12 hours of a headache at a job.
it is true. It's like an emotional state. To live your dream, you gotta be able. You gotta have the freedom of playing, of you know, having fun to be in the state of being creative. Because
Yeah.
a day's burnt out, like with a migraine and shit, of thinking and working and being yelled at and stuff. It's like, oh shit, I am all zapped for energy.
Yeah. 100%.
So your trip was good? Did you and your girl go out to eat a lot, and was the comedy club good?
Yeah, we ate, and the comedy club was really cool. I almost didn't go because when I first called, he was really busy, and I started getting in my head like, why should I even go?
I get so shy going to a new comedy club and hanging out. So shy.
Yeah, and then I just went. It was like 10 minutes away in an Uber, so
Oh,
and it
cool.
was cool. He told me these stories about like Mitch Hedberg and
Ooh,
yeah, and
favorite.
like
My favorite.
yeah, oh yeah, so good. And I didn't realize that he kind of started in Florida. I think, or maybe that's where he grew or worked his act in Florida. And Billy Gardell, that's an old time
Oh,
comedian from Mike and Molly.
yes, I love Mike and Molly, my mom's favorite, but he's on a new show too.
Yeah, and there was that's where he kind of started too. And there was a few
Wow.
other like there was who else was it? There was Larry the Cable Guy started there, the Get Her Done guy.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I think they maybe mentioned one more, but it was cool. And then it was a small club. There wasn't a lot of people, but the acts were cool. I like just going as an audience member and seeing like how they did it.
It is cool to go to a different community and meet a bunch of comics.
Right. And they kind of sat us in the front row. It was light that night. And I was like, I'm just going with the flow. It was kind of cool. None of the comedians knew I was a comedian. So I got to see how they treated audience members.
Yeah. Anything eye-opening you noticed?
Yeah, the bill only came to $11. That blew me away.
Oh,
I don't know how, like, it was crazy. Like, Florida is cheap. But yeah, I noticed a couple comics down there with the audience. One thing I majorly did notice was the audience was a very much diverse audience. We had there was a group of young girls in the back, a family to the left, a middle-aged couple, a group of like older guys. Like there was a couple, and I don't know. It was interesting just to see that, like versus like that's their show for the night. Like so, it takes you to a different level of like clean, like being used to the 1 a.m. shows or the late shows at LOL. I feel like I'd be different there, and I don't know how well that would go over being that dirty. It felt like they were slightly cleaner.
right. You got to make it more family friendly.
It seemed like the show all around kind of was. Now I don't know if that was one in particular just like that.
Right.
Like if that was like the headliner that came in that week. It was like a showcase show. But how about Coconuts is actually the same size as the original Improv from New York, I guess. The guy molded it after the Improv in New York. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it seats the same amount of people, and he built it like that because he felt like the Improv was the perfect size for stand-up, and it was a nice room. I'd like to perform there.
Cool. That's awesome. And Tampa as a city is cool. I've never been to Tampa.
Yeah, everybody was chill. We stayed at St. Pete's Beach, which was like a 30-minute drive outside of Tampa, and where I stayed, it was like it was an older crowd. So that was cool, and we kind of had it to ourselves, but it was cool not dealing with no like young, like spring break. Honestly, some of these college kids with too much to prove, like parts of the beach. I don't know what it is. Like these 18-year-old kids gotta prove something to everybody. A lot of
I
these guys,
know. The
bro,
ego.
yeah. But it was a blast. We had a good time. Sunburn on the first day. I'm still itching it, and yeah. So we just chilled,
And the
and
beach was a nice blue color.
oh, it was so pretty.
The
Yeah,
beach
I
is
had
a different
pictures. I
color
should
down
have.
there.
Huh?
The beach is a different color down there. Like, if you go to the beach in Jersey, it's like a gray blue, but then Florida, it's like this aqua.
Yeah, it was. It was like an aqua. I loved it. And our hotel was right on the beach. We got to look at the ocean from our room.
Oh my God, that must have been
Yeah,
magical.
it was great. Yeah,
And
looking back on it.
it wasn't freaky like flying in the COVID era.
No, for the most part, it was fine. It was a little scary getting off the plane. They're like, oh, you came from Florida. You got a mandatory fill this out or it's a $10,000 fine.
Hit it with the 1 minute question, okay?
Cool.
And what you want to do this one? What irritates you more than you should? All right, let's do this one. Has anyone with severely low self-esteem ever managed to overcome it? What happened? Does that work?
Has anyone with severely low self-esteem ever managed to overcome it? What happened? That's a good question.
All right, cool. I'm going to set the timer. You want to go first or should I?
You want to go first? It's up to you. If you don't mind going first.
Sure. All right, here we go. 1 minute. Okay. Has anyone with severely low self-esteem ever managed to overcome it, and what happened? Okay. Yes, I, of course, have had severely low self-esteem, and I feel like I still do at times, but it got better. And how I overcame it was meditation and learning why I feel certain way, like challenging my bad thoughts, like thoughts that get me in my head. I now strive to capture them. Like, okay, I'm not good enough. Why am I not good enough? And it's like, okay, you start talking yourself out. It's kind of like CBT, where you call your bad thoughts and you filter it through this distorted thought funnel of, okay, I'm catastrophizing. I'm, so I think it's just talking kinder to myself. That is really, but of course I still struggle with it. I still struggle with it at times for sure, but now also age. I keep saying it. Getting older has been very good for me because you stop fucking overthinking shit. It's like I'm getting closer to death at each second. So I don't care anymore.
Right.
I don't care. This is my life, not your life. I'm not living some person who didn't do fucking work on themselves. The people who don't do work on themselves want to make people who do work on themselves feel bad. No, not having it. Here's my shield. I now have a shield and I stop caring. You start seeing through people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great way to be. Yeah. Being older has definitely helped me with being in life in general.
Yeah. So what about for you?
Mine, this is funny too. Mine is, I don't know, like, yeah, because you knew me. So remember before we were friends, I never dated, I didn't have a girlfriend, remember? Like, I was never really dating anybody, like, when the first few years that you knew me.
Yes.
I don't know what it was since I was a child. I used to be so nervous around girls. I never really knew what to say to them, and I just fumble my words so stupidly all the time that I just started avoiding the problem, I think. And like, just was like, I'll meet a nice girl eventually or something. But then, when I started doing the moving a lot, like, sure, I got over my fears and I dated a girl. Like, I had a girlfriend here or there. But when I started doing the moving a lot and I was like I was moving, like 90% of my clients were college girls. And I was doing like 4 to 6 moves a day. So I was meeting like so many every day. They're driving in my van. I'm moving their things. And I feel like I just like got so much more comfortable just from the practice of being around them. And
Right.
just talking to girl and just being like, yo, this is just like one of my friends. There's no difference. Like, it's really a regular, just, there's no reason to be nervous. I'm speaking to somebody.
Right. It's like you overcame it by doing it. You know,
And taking the potential.
expose yourself to the thing you're afraid of, and you realize it's not as scary as in my head I made it out to be.
And you know what I think also helped? Taking the potential chance of, since it was working professionally, it's like, there's no way I'm going to try to date you. Even though that wasn't the case, I ended up dating a few people I moved. But, it's like taking that out of it. I
Yeah.
think also just said, okay, so I make a left here. That's great. We'll go up the 5 steps.
You know what? It's like when you stop trying to shove things in its case and let it be what it is, it'll be, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. You know what I mean? As I think like with dating apps, when I used to be on dating apps, it doesn't, I only like got in relationships with people I have actually, talked to in real life, because dating apps, I try to shove it in a box. Like, this, I have to feel romantic. You know what I mean? Like, I have to feel this certain way because it's as a dating app. And then when that's taken off the shelf, it's totally different. And if it's meant to be, it happens.
Right.
I think I think there is something to that. Like, not trying to force something to be, just letting it happen.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, this was a fun podcast, Amsters.
Oh my God. And also to add to your doing. I think I'm learning by doing it gives you confidence.
Right. Just like stand-up.
Yeah. So people, if you're afraid of something, freaking do it anyway.
Like Mike Tyson says, he has to do what he's afraid of.
Yes. I love that. I totally love it. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We do have one viewer. What's up?
Woo!
Woo. Add us on Instagram if you could. One viewer. I'm going to write it right here. Hold on.
If you're a talent agent, I'll take you out to dinner. You have to have peeled shrimp.
Emmett Earth _TV. Okay.
I might treat myself to Applebee's right now.
Oh my God. I want Applebee's now.
Put it on the Capital One.
Boneless chicken wings.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Cowboy burger. Anyway.
Cool.
Oh,
All right, it's been fun.
yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Please add us on Instagram. We beg of you. We beg of you. The nicest thing anyone could do to help artists that are struggling right now is just subscribe, like, please. We don't want money. We just want to like. Please help our algorithm.
Yeah, share it with a friend that you think might find us entertaining or useful.
Yes, and we are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. And we just got approved for Pandora.
Oh, yeah, that's the celebration for this one.
So excited. Oh, my God. Yeah, we're going to go have cake. We got to celebrate the Pandora thing soon.
Ice cream time. All right, y'all.
Bye, everybody. We love you.
Bye.
All right.
For the show, folks. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, follow, and leave a good review if you can. We will be grateful for that. Follow us on Instagram at Gape TV. Good afternoon, Planet Earth.